Okay. Uh, Welcome, John, to another session of our product announcements. We're running these monthly at iBlueprint.ai. Um, we're excited to do so. As I mentioned in January, we keep John in a dungeon someplace. It's just him and Claude, and they go back and forth a bit. And
We're
we've come
buddies.
up with some really amazing stuff, which we're going to show today. So the dungeon's working, and we're getting just incredible stuff. I'm really excited to show some of the things we have today um, as product updates. And towards the end, I'll ask John to just put a couple of plugs in for some of the stuff that's in the pipeline that he's working on too, which are really exciting too. But we've got some finished product, if you will, first, and I'm gonna John and I will go through some of that today. All right. So the first thing to show is the org home, and we've got a new homepage that gets you into your content a lot more easily, a lot faster, and just to provide a little context and almost as reminder, really what we envision iBlueprint to be and how we're seeing early users use it is like the home for the organization to manage its AI building, its AI institutional knowledge, the fact that this all can exist independent of any particular vendor or any particular model, um, creates the opportunity for the organization to do the kind of institutional knowledge sharing, collaboration that currently the tools that there exist are a little limited on. So the new um, homepage gets you in to these builds a lot faster, and we will run through some of what these are today. And we've really simplified the navigation. We've kept now most of the organization settings in a new settings area, and and so I think it's just a much cleaner experience. We've got so much functionality that was starting to get um, a little messy, frankly. So we've hopefully cleaned that up a bit, and have in getting you in quickly to the things you need. So just wanted to do that. I'm now going to hand it over to John, and I've got he's got some really interesting things to show. Um, and just to sort of tee this up a little bit, when we envisioned iBlueprint, a year and a half ago, I don't think we were thinking about chatbots per se, but in listening to our customers, our early customers, many of them needed a chatbot and a chatbot builder and needed to use their own and wanted to use their own data to leverage that. And so that's why we've gone through the process of building out again an LLM independent chatbot builder. Bring your own API keys if you want. Use ours if you want. Um, and I think what you'll see today, it builds off of what we covered last time. This is really one of the best chatbot builders on the market at this point. That this we've and especially the thinking we've put into uh, to delivering a chatbot that leverages and allows you to control what's happening and gives you insight into your data. You're able to sort of take your data, make it ready for AI, but we're giving you visibility and some controls and knobs to turn in that process. And John's going to go through a little bit of that today. And just want to say, I'm like, it's super exciting to sort of see this come into being. And I think if for any of you out there who have used other um, chatbot builders, I think you're going to be impressed by jumping in and sort of seeing what's here. So, John, with no further ado, could I ask you? You're in the knowledge base, and maybe go first and show us the web spidering,
Sure.
and then get into AI chunking. Um,
Sure.
been a ton of great stuff. So thanks.
Well, thanks, Stephen. I appreciate it. I think the interesting thing about the concept that iBlueprint's taken on data is is a little different, right? I mean, but it's different for for a reason, and I think a lot of the times we've got files. Those files just sit there, and we expect them to just contain the information, and that's great. In there's RAG systems out there that can leverage that. But what we wanted to do was we wanted to start to organize data by what it is, right? So we wanted to organize data, like whether it's just text, whether it's JSON, whether you want to connect to an API endpoint, or if you want to spider a website, right? So for us, if a lot of the times the data that we want to put into a chatbot is in a web page, but it might be in a web page that has multiple links and that has multiple pages underneath. So ultimately, what we want to do is we want to be able to say, okay, well, let's go get the content from that page, and then go get the content from the pages that are underneath it. So this is basically a simple, it's pretty standard system within the internet and within the way that we treat data. Uh, it's a way to crawl through the website and then have it go through that first page, get its content, go through the second page, the third page, however many links it can find, and you can set a maximum. That if it's found, don't only go so deep, and or only if it finds more than 50, ignore some of the other kinds of things. One of the things that we've got here, and some benefits there. So you can actually ignore the navigation, you can ignore other things. Um, so what happened is it went out to Snap students, and found information about those pages, and now it's what it's done is it's actually um, prepared the content, right? So it's went out and it looked at and found these pages and it prepared the content. But as you'll notice, the content is all one big kind of lump of information. And if you've ever worked with any other chatbot tools, a lot of times what happens is it'll take the first chunk of that information or the second chunk of the information, and it creates it creates little pieces of the document for it to search through. So you don't return the whole document. You really want to return just parts of the document that you're interested in. And the way the chunking works is that it tries to bring that together. And so instead of just doing it, because what happens is sometimes you'll miss the context, you'll miss the piece of information, because it's only going to 200. You'll miss the full context, the full breadth of the information that you really want. So what we've come up with is a strategy, a chunking strategy called AI chunking, right? And AI chunking gives you the ability to use AI to intelligently chunk the information in a document so that it's semantically meaningful. uh, and which is a great way of explaining that when it does the chunking, it's going to try to pull paragraphs together as as a meaningful piece of information, so that when a user searches, sometimes it's the first run, has issues, but basically what happens is it'll start to take paragraphs, whatever structure it can find within the document, uh, whether it's you don't want to split mid sentence. You want to structure, by JSON. So it would actually, if you had JSON within the document, it would go and it would create, specific chunks for it. And so what it did is it took that big blob of text, and the AI said, "Oh, okay. Well, my first part is this information with this context." So it knows that there's a header. It knows that this is a press release. It knows that, and it gives you links to contact. So the AI pulls the relevant information. So when the user say the user asked about, Great American Farmers Market, well, what's going to happen is it's not just going to return the title. It's going to return the title and the information that does that, and it's going to put it into the user's chat, system chat, and it's going to give your chatbot more information that's ready to go there. And so this structured data processing is basically creating a way to search and provide data, a little bit better. So,
So, John, just to if I'm reflecting back on what you just said, the first piece of this was, in addition to all the other ways to get data into a knowledge base, which we covered last time. We covered upload your documents, connect a cloud folder, upload a database. If you're a developer using JSON, put that in. That we can take all that. You introduce this tool that's really easy. Like, let's just say, for example, you had FAQs on your website, or you just wanted your website content leveraged in your chatbot. We just created this super easy way to go out, grab that content, and bring it in so that your chatbot can leverage it. The
but
second
not
piece, though,
not just
go
not
ahead, John.
just to bring it in. It's to bring it in with intelligence.
Yeah, I mean that's where I was going. Is like the
Yeah,
second piece is then we're um, providing some tools that you can either just run, or if you want to get really detailed, you can actually run, see the details, and make some adjustments. My own experience has been um, with RAG, which is essentially what this is doing, is a retrieval augmented generation, allowing your chatbot to use your data, right? I have not seen too many RAG implementations, or any really, that provide this level of sort of inspection in detail. And so if you're trying to troubleshoot something, and we'll get to chatbots in a second, but like you're trying to troubleshoot something, you're trying to make sure that your well-governed data is going in appropriately, like it's giving you all of that um, capability to make adjustments to and honestly just visibility into what's happening. I think a lot of us feel that like AI can be a little bit of a black box, and even when I'm uploading data into AI, what it's actually doing is opaque at best. And so we're providing, the sort of full visibility into what's happening, and also giving you the AI tools to say, okay, well, chunk this intelligently in a way that AI can really make full use of it. Um, so that's awesome. John, do you want to, like, I don't know if you have more to show here, but do you want to show how we're then now sort of how that's leveraged in the chatbot?
sure, sure. Let's go with one of these. and then now you've got knowledge base, and oh, there we go. And now you can enable. So now we have that knowledge base in there, and you can actually say, well, number one, these are actually duplicates, so you can actually say I only want one, which makes it a little nicer. And then again, remember this is in the first half of the menu, for 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 chatbots. You're actually creating stuff that's global, like a global kind of information. Uh, but what's nice is you can actually enable and disable certain knowledge bases within your thing, and then even down to the document, right? And what's great about that is it gives you a little bit more um, understanding, and as Stephen alluded to, transparency, right? Let's be transparent about what we're going to include, what we're not going to include, and things like that. So it gives you basically basic controls, on how to do that. And then the rag settings, so what's nice is we've kind of created this ability to say, well, at what level do I want my data included, right? So when the user is asking a question, if you want it to be very broad, you can bring this down. You can bring this way down. To 30, uh, and it'll oh, there we go, and it'll be very broad in what it wants to bring into the information, and then it'll say, hey, I only want, from this data, I only want the maximum of 5 chunks. I don't want to bring everything in. I only want the top of a certain information. So like, but like, so if you're going fairly broad, you might want to bump it up to um to 10, instead. And so now you've got a broad search with additional information. So it's going to try to bring in more information instead of less. And so these controls give you the ability to then, when you do chat with the chatbot, and you go here and you ask it questions, in the search that it does, uh, in the search that it does in the back end for the information, it should be included, because we've created uh, a location that gives that information, gives us something to hang on to. This this is actually a little bit of conflicting information, because I've asked in my system prompt, I'm actually asking for driver's license information, but I'm pulling in SNAP information, so it's actually following my instructions, which is actually a really valid test, of the system. And it didn't rag the information in, because partly probably because of the prompt overrode it. So, and then if the data was, if it had found the data, it would have put that knowledge base, those knowledge base chunks here, and shown that here, based off of this information, um, the this is where those chunks. And again, this is to show that transparency of, did the content make it over, based off the questions that you're supposed to ask. And in this
That
case, no. So I would
that's
go and try to figure out, play around with the different settings to see what's going to get it over there.
yeah. I mean, I think that's super useful. I mean, I think again, this is for the more detailed or tech oriented user, this is giving some knobs and tubes of like around, okay, I can make this adjustment. Um, if I wanted something that's like only draw very specific answers from my knowledge, as opposed to being more general in approach, it really is doing that kind of work really really well. However, I also want to show,
Well, yeah,
if you are a lay user, there's still plenty of easy functionality for you to address. And so we now have, like we showed last time in prompts, that we have um, AI that can help you with your prompt and rewrite your prompt for you. We also now have a wizard on chatbots that allows you to, within just a couple of minutes, spin up your first chatbot, right? Um, so I'm going to do customer support. Maybe I wanted to do that for my website. We have templates that are starting points from which to draw from, or you can put your own stuff there, or you can ask AI to auto generate it for you. Lots of functionality there. And I'm going to make sure I share this with my organization, and I can tag it if I want. So I'll do customer support, add that tag, click next. The next part of this is, um, remember what I said at the beginning, and I've said this in other sessions too, we're model independent. So you can use the iBlueprint open source models that come with the platform, or you can bring your own model into the mix here. And you can see with some of the clients that we've been serving, that we've been building with, that they have brought their OpenAI or Claude or other models into the mix, and then you can choose which model you want your chatbot to run off of. So it connects into all of that out of the box, and here we go. Like, there are templates for system prompts, um, or you can create your own. And these are the instructions that you're giving the chatbot about how to behave, right? And so I'm going to use that template, um, and it's going to give me a pretty good starting place um, for a customer support chatbot. And so again, just in a few seconds, I'm able to spin up this chatbot. I'm reviewing it here. Okay, it's a customer support. This is the AI connection I'm going to use. Um, that's the system prompts. That's the instructions it's going to uh, provide to the AI, and then I got a little error here. I'm not sure what that error is, but then it's going to create that chatbot in the instance, and it may be that I don't have permissions to iBlueprint. John, is what I'm thinking.
I can.
Because I successfully tried this out in other organizations just a little while ago. So I think I need to be an admin or something in iBlueprint. But anyway, um, assuming you're in and you have the right permissions, that's going to create a chatbot for you again in just a couple of seconds, right? And then you get to this kinds of screens that John was looking at previously, where you're getting in and then you can go deeper if you want to, right? You can. There's a lot here to be able to do and test. We went through some of that last time, so I'm not going to go through it again. But there's an easy pathway of using the wizard to get to that. Um, so anyway, what I John, what I wanted to do now is maybe have you share, put some teasers out there about what's coming around around blueprints and projects. Um, we don't have to get into much depth, but because we'll cover it next time. But you're doing some really awesome stuff, and I just might be good to tease some of that out for folks.
Yeah, and so what we've kind of one of the themes of the site that we've been or one of the mantras was is that it should be a mixture of human and AI, right? So starting to create um, things based off of that, right? So one of the things that we've got is we've got like an AI wizard in which you can describe your workflow that you want to do, and you can say, hey, I want to, again, build a customer support data knowledge, FAQ, right? Customer, uh, and then you can go and you can say, hey, I want to create a customer support FAQ, and then it'll start to try to build a blueprint for you, right? So leveraging AI, yeah, yeah, uh, leveraging AI. When you go into blueprints, you can let's go back to the blueprint. You can either just go and create a blueprint, or you can go and you can you can use the AI wizard, right? So the AI wizard lets you describe your problem, and then it will try to build out all the steps in the workflow to solve your problem. Some of them will be what we're kind of dubbing agents, because it's just a great way of doing it. Uh, are agents where it will try to say, here's an AI agent that should do this task, right? And then and then here's a human that should be involved in this task, and so when it creates the tasks for the workflow, it just assigns AI and human. So when you're at a point in which you want to create uh, the steps, you can assign it to an AI agent, or you can say, hey, no, I would like a human to do this, right? And then part of what we're doing is we're creating some communications channels around email and things like that, to basically notify the site, and then email to notify a user to say, hey, we're at a step in the workflow that requires some of your information, or something from you. So similarly, we've done something similar for projects as well. So when you're one of them's when you're doing a workflow, uh, blueprints are for when you're doing workflow type stuff. Projects are for when you're trying to organize the work that needs to be done, and uh, it has the ability to create, again, in the same vein. You say, here's the goal of the project that I want to do. Here's what I would like it accomplished by, and then you add context, and then that context gets drawn forward, and then AI tries to build out all the tasks for this project. And then so when and again, it can assign a task in the project to an agent versus a human. So it's taking the business of what we do in general, and creating a more AI version of it, so that you can get to the work faster and spend less time on the organization. Let AI help organize it for you.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So that's all forthcoming. Just giving you a little teaser about that. On the blueprint side, obviously that's our name. That's what we started thinking about, is sort of how do we deliver on intelligent automation in the new world of agents and LLMs. And I think how do we empower humans in that process. And I think part of that means that, like, we're giving you, just like with the knowledge base stuff you saw, we're giving you control over what the AI is doing and not doing. And if there's things that a human has to do, we're actually allowing you to sort of map those steps out and getting you engaged where you need to be engaged, whether it's in a project or a blueprint, and then giving the agent or the LM the work that it's best to do, but still with full visibility, full control, um, things, and just being able to govern what's happening with the AI by doing something like spelling out each step in the process and deciding, when's the AI going to do it? What am I going to do? What's my team going to do? Um, so based on what we're hearing in the marketplace around this, again, with some of the opaqueness of what's happening, just giving you those tools to really control the AI and the experience in a way that's going to meet your business needs is really what we're delivering here. So more to come on blueprints, more to come on projects. One of the things that John said to me a couple weeks ago about projects is, you know, first of all, there's lots of project management systems out there, so we're not necessarily trying to compete or replace, but the ability to have AI build out your project for you, and being able to assign tasks to agents, and maybe those agents are running a blueprint, right? That those are things um, that I think are really interesting that we're leaning into, and so more to come on the human AI project moving forward. Really, really exciting stuff. Well, that's essentially what we have for you today. We got it done in about a half hour. Thanks, John. I'm going to send you back to the dungeon now, and you're going to crank out more amazing stuff. And we'll see everybody back in a month.
Thanks,
Um,
Stephen. Appreciate it.
yeah, thank you. And if you are a consultant, we have a special session coming up March 6th. We've As you can see, we've got some really good tools if you're an AI consultant to use with your clients. There's also some revenue sharing opportunities that we'll explore in that session, and then we'll be back here in another month with the March product update.